This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. We've talked about how many of us have things to heal from. It could be from past traumas. It could be all different situations that we all deal with. And there's many ways to make that happen. Could be through energy, could be Reiki master, whatever it might be. Got somebody today that can help you with that through mediumship. She can give insight. She can give answers. She can connect to the other side. Fascinating to talk with her about her mediumship and so much more. And she is the owner of Serenity Soul Energy. Marla Gilbert joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for being here. And I want to just define this word medium because I believe there sometimes can be some confusion of a psychic and a medium and a psychic medium. How do you define you being a medium?
So I call myself a channeling medical medium. I feel my clients, either crossed or living crossed, they come through my physical being. And I use a technique called free writing, where I take pen to paper and I ask them to write down whatever it is that's coming through. I also read crystals as well. My entire background and why I say it comes across as medical, they'll show me how they passed. They'll make me feel how they crossed. There's no denying that you know how your loved one, 99% of the time, you know how your loved one crossed. Other than that, my whole background has been in the medical field. So my guides, my ascended masters understand what I understand, so they tell me specific things. So I won't always get a name, mom, dad, specific name, but they'll tell me a medical thing. I always believe that if something is coming across that is written down during a reading that is medically related, no, I am not a doctor, and I do not presume to be one, so I tell them what the information is coming across. Even though our loved ones are not in the physical, they still are very much present with us. Look over us, watch over us. So as they'd say, hey, Steve, you got to go do this. I want you to go to the doctor, and it's kind of through me. It's that push to say, just make sure you're watching out for this.
So is it reasonable to think that, let's say, now you have a medical background, medical connection, and it seems that spirit uses that to communicate to you. If you were, let's say, a musician, music was your life, would it be reasonable to think that that's how the connection would be? Maybe it would be in song, maybe it would be in lyric. Just the difference here is you're medically connected, and that's how you get that information. Does that sound right?
I think it's fabulous that you bring up song. Your life is very connected with song. I didn't even realize until I was like, where are all these songs coming from, or who are they coming from? But they are full messages. So when we open up the song, we look at the lyrics. They're messages. The words that they can speak to you, you understand, and they make sense.
As does the medical side make sense to you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've gotten many songs that have popped in my head. I've tried to figure out, it just doesn't happen. There is a reason. And I'll start analyzing it and seeing if that's a message coming from whoever, and I've made connections that there's a reason. Then there's others where I'm not really sure why the song keeps resonate, but eventually I'll probably figure it out. So I think you described it as a medical medium. What type of information do you get from spirit?
So, as I said before, I physically feel how they crossed, whether it be a heart attack, lung issues, colon issues. I feel it in my body and my being. So when I sit with a client, I tell them what it is I see, hear, feel, taste, smell. I have been a healer my whole entire life. It wasn't until I took my Reiki classes, I was like, okay, so this is what it is I'm doing. It's a remembering of lifetimes, lifetime upon lifetime. This is not my first go round.
Would you say that when you started with Reiki, that kind of sealed the deal? Now it all came clear. Yes, you were healing, you were doing, prior to that, but now when you started harnessing the power of energy and how it can heal through Reiki, is that where it, it would really, it was clear to you, very clear to you at that point, what your mission was in life, your purpose?
I knew from a very, very young age, I 9 or even before, my grandfather passed. I didn't hear from anyone. It was a knowing that he passed, and I saw him in the physical in front of me. And I thought, how can this be? Well, why are you standing in the street? Come in the house. He couldn't come in the house because he had crossed over, but it was his way of letting me know I'm okay, but this is what I need you to do now. So I, at a young age, being an old soul, knew that it was my, say, job, or it was my purpose to help heal others. And I've been doing it ever since.
Was it your grandfather that gave you that vision that yes, this is, he's not here, but he was here. All of that information, was that making it even more clear for you?
I believe so. So it
Mm.
was one, it was led from him. And then some 20 years later, my grandmother had passed. And I had cared for her until her dying day. And the two of them would show up. They show up every day. There are signs, which when a client sits in front of me, I ask them, just close your eyes for a moment. I don't put anything in their head. So if I'd say, I'll put the color pink in your head, your brain's going to go there. But if I tell you specific things about your loved ones, and I ask you just to close your eyes for a moment, take a breath, tell me what you feel. Oh, I felt someone warmth on my shoulder. And I can tell the client, this is your mother. So notice these differences. It's the discernment, who is who's scratching my back, or who's running their finger down my back, who's on what side or doing something to me, that I then interpret, figure it out,
Mm.
and then tell my clients.
Do you feel, Marla, that, and I'm not sure if I'm referring properly, but I'm calling it spirit, be it, somebody who has passed, crossed over, right? Is their energy their spirit, whatever label you want to, whatever you want to call it, are they always around us?
I believe so. So, what I know is when we cross, we are energy. We are all energy. We are just in a physical suit that we walk around in. We can unzip that suit and take it off because we no longer need it. And that's how your loved ones can be in 5 different places all at one time.
I agree with you. And I had that epiphany a couple of years ago where I was just thinking, staring out into space, looking at some trees, and I was like, we are spiritual. Some people call these, meat sacks, our bodies. It's just a container. And just like your car, it breaks down. And no car lasts forever. We don't either. But I believe I'm on your page there that its spirit is around us. It's always, why do those who have crossed over, why do some make themselves more known than others? I'm sure you've come across that. And some will say, well, they had a very outgoing personality when they were in the physical being, and that's the same when they crossed over, they're just kind of quiet. What's your whole thought there?
To speak on the part of my loved ones, who I call forth every day, I know my father to be loud, outgoing, very vocal. And in his passing, he's quiet. His personality comes across to me in a different way. My grandfather's the jokester he was and always was from when I was 9 years old. And that's the way he comes across. I just want you to be happy and be joyful. My grandmother, she didn't have to say a word. She'd just look at you and the whole conversation was spoken. But I feel her scratch my back. I smell her perfume, or I'll smell, if you open up like an old oak cabinet that has been sitting for 20, 30 years, that smell that's in there,
Mm-hmm.
it takes you to a place that's, oh, I'm here. I am sitting right here. So if you can't see me, I'm going to allow you to smell something. Some people will say their loved ones crossed, they smoked in life. They'll smell cigarette smoke, or they'll feel this whoosh like a hot flash come through them. I said, it's your loved one giving you a hug.
I never get any of that. I do get signs and symbols, very specific, when I ask for them, but I've never experienced actually, let me say something here too. I wasn't aware of something. It may be happening, like for most of us. If you're not aware of it, if you're not tuned into it, you're going to miss whatever it might be. It could be a smell. It could be a whoosh that went by you. Um, how do you how do you suggest that we plug into that a little bit more so that we can maybe pick up on signs and symbols or whatever it might be from those who have passed?
The way I guide my clients when they come and sit with me are that I write everything down. I show them specific details. Mom's going to know your favorite color. I'll bring that across. Your parents are going to know what kind of trips you went on.
Mm,
That comes across. With who you were. Did you have brothers, sisters? Did you have a friend that was a mom called that person sister? There are things that are undeniable that aren't even coming from me, but your loved one comes through me. so that I can pass the information on to you. I allow my clients the time to ask detailed and intimate questions that I do not share. But yes, if your loved one's having me sing songs all around the house, just to let you know, yeah, ha, it's fun. It's cool. It's really neat. So, okay, we let everyone know because that is just fun.
Wow. What is the most unusual or just odd thing that has come through when you've spoke with somebody and you were connecting with the other side, Marla? Anything stand out?
So I'll tell you, just so I know that I am in the right place at the right time for the right reason. I'm just going about my day like everyone else. But the difference is I'll be walking somewhere and I get pulled into a place where someone needs me. We were in downtown, and for no reason that I knew, I turned and walked into a store. And the woman had passed, and whoosh, all of a sudden I can feel her nervousness, her fear. Her life was taken from her. And I don't want to trigger warning. Yes,
Hmm.
I felt it, but the messages that I looked at the photos just for an instant, but she said, who's ever standing in front of me? That she kept showing me hearts, crystals, hearts, the love that surrounds her, and other messages were coming across. So as she stood next to me, I need to show you all of what's around me. Let them know, just because they can't see me, I'm still very much right here.
I'm intrigued of how you feel this and sense it. Do you feel that we all can do this to some degree, but you are more tuned into it, much, much more than the rest of us?
So I'd say since I've been doing it for so long, yes, to answer your question, yes, absolutely. And that's why I feel I have started to offer mediumship classes to teach people simple, everyday techniques that help them elevate to the next level. And I tell them once they begin to learn these techniques and they sit with it, their whole entire world opens up.
Would you say a lot of it is your confidence in the beginning? Maybe you didn't have the confidence or the trust in the information I'm getting is valid and I'm just going to deliver it. Did you ever hold things back or were you like a little uncertain about the information that you were getting in the beginning?
So that's what was difficult for me. As a young child, I was born in the 70s. You're to be seen and not heard. So when I would look out of my mouth and speak my truth,
Hmm.
they didn't understand how truly gifted I was. And that what I was saying, they weren't listening to, or they didn't understand it. So they shut me down instead of let's show you the way and let's show you someone who can open your world up.
At what point did you feel it was okay?
I'm loud and proud, and I have to just speak my truth. And when I walk into places in the right time with the right person, I don't like to just randomly walk into a place and make someone cry because I don't want someone doing that to me.
Sure.
If it's okay and we are in a safe space, in confidence, I let them know what's coming across to allow them to process it. And that's where the healing comes in.
When you say healing, how do you mean it? Now, there's different, different definitions and why we need to heal. Is it a lot of it closure after somebody passes?
I feel a lot of people sit with this. It could be 20 years, 30 years, even longer, or it may be a few months. There are things that are just left unsaid.
Mm.
Clients have come to me and said, my loved one didn't hear me, but they did, because the last thing to go is their hearing. And I will confirm for them the exact reason, where I'll come across and tell them one thing. They heard you. Is this making sense to you now?
Wow.
And it's that aha. Yes, now I understand. Now my life has come to a point where my heart is open and I can heal.
Even on the healing side, you could have been, it could have been somebody that you're connected to since childhood, could be a parent, whatever it might be. And there was unresolved issues. Then the person passes and you haven't healed from when they were here and now they're not. Have you helped people in that regard? Kind of, kind of close the door or make good in their mind with a situation like that?
So once I do a reading, I say your loved ones, they don't lie. They have no ego. As you speak of ego,
Mm.
they have no ego. So whatever is most important, whatever is coming across, they let it all out. I write it down. When you sit in front of me, I speak the truth and I let them know. And this is how I totally allow them to heal, whether it's through a Reiki session or through going back into the past, childhood, deep, deep childhood trauma, where we can clear and cleanse all of what they no longer need.
What's fascinating about what you do, Marla, is not only are you a medium, but you also harness the power of energy healing, i.e., Reiki, and on and on. So that it's like powerful. It's not like I have a message for you. I'm going to deliver it and here we go. You're helping people heal from that message, but also using the energy side of you and everything else that you offer, within Soul Energy, which is amazing. And then, I'm not taking anything away from somebody who's a psychic and legitimate. That's all good. Yeah, we get closure, we get information. Um, that's fine. But you take it a step further once you deliver that. Do you see it that way? Am I getting it right?
Absolutely 100%. So I feel my clients are led to me
Mm.
because they're ready to heal their hearts. Some people sit in their uncomfortableness. Your loved ones, even friends, whoever it is you speak of, do not want your experience in life to sit in sadness. It should be joy and happiness and experiences that are wonderful. When you cry and when you sit and cry, if you feel this on your shoulders or you feel someone's looming over me, it's your loved ones.
Final question. We're out of time, and we'll pick up next time from this point, I do believe, and more, including photographs. We'll talk about that when we get together again. Let's say there was an unresolved issue or there was animosity with somebody when they were present. Now they pass. You always thought that they were mad at you. I'm very hypothetical here. Does everything change when somebody passes, or would they still harbor feelings of negativity, even though they're not here?
So you're asking on the side of the person who's passed or the client who comes to me?
The client that comes to you just wondering, let's say they had a riff with somebody and the somebody passed. A lot of negativity swirling around there. Now that person's no longer here. That negativity on the other side, is it all gone? Do they still have negative feelings? Or they just want to make amends and have that person that's here, your client, be okay at that point?
So how I do my work is when I write it down and my client sits either through video or in person.
Mm-hmm.
I ask them whatever is weighing on their heart, whatever is hurting their heart. Let's write it down and ask, because your loved ones or your friend or whoever it is standing right here in this room. Ask them as if you would ask, as if we're having this conversation, you and I, face to face. It's the same.
Wow. And I believe it because I ask from one particular relative and I get answers. And it comes after I ask. It doesn't just show up, and it's very specific. So I believe in what you say. Ask, and I don't roll religious, but I'm just going to say there's that book starts with a B, and it says right in there, "Ask and you shall receive." I'm paraphrasing, but ask for an answer. Ask for some clarification. Ask and just ask. What do you got to lose? They're listening. They're listening. How do we find you, Marla? If somebody wants to dig deeper into this, get a reading, maybe get some closure, how do we find you?
So my website is www.serenitysoulenergy.com. You can send me an email at marlamedium333@gmail.com. The easiest way to get in touch with me, if you don't want any of the rest, is just call me. I'm at 856-220-1447.
Wonderful talking with you today. Thank you for the insight, the information. For me, the validation of a number of things here about spirit. And looking forward next time we get together and digging deeper. And again, prelude to that, maybe we'll talk about photographs and how you can read them in a very interesting way. We'll just leave it at that.
Very good.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Thanks, Marla. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.